Have you started filming already? Hi everyone. Sorry. You just called me one of my chocolate chip cookies. Hashtag plug. Anyway. Welcome back to my channel, She Can Cook. Today we're going to be making homemade... I was about to say chocolate chip cookies again. Cookies on the mind. Today we're going to be making homemade Caribbean Asian fusion burgers. Now, I was lucky enough that I was raised in London, but my mum's from Jamaica and my dad's from Guyana. So I was raised with a whole culture of Caribbean influences, some Indian influences in there, and all of that makes for amazing flavors. Today, the burgers that we're going to be making, are going to include all of those flavors. So we're going to have very, very highly influenced with the Caribbean flavors. And we're also going to be making homemade onion bhajis. And this is where the Asian fusion comes in. So let's go. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to need are some mince. Now, you can use turkey mince, you can use lamb mince, you can use beef, chicken. Today we're going to be using beef mince. Now, in order to make this a Caribbean Asian fusion burger, we're going to need the Caribbean spices. So let me show you what we've got. What we've got here is we have got a plate full of spices that we're going to use to give it those real Caribbean flavors. I've got here some Garam Masala, some thyme. Now thyme is really popularly used in a lot of jerk seasonings and things like that. We're going to be using some paprika, some onion powder, garlic granules, some allspice, which allspice is another one that's used in a lot of jerk seasonings in Jamaica. We're going to be using some cumin, Italian seasoning, coriander powder, and finally the last one is optional, but it's chili powder. This is it's very popularly used because Caribbeans like things spicy. I like things spicy. There's nothing that's too spicy for me. But if you don't want to use that, you can leave that one out. We're also going to be using some ground ginger and some crushed garlic. I love garlic, and I think garlic is important to use in almost everything. And for the chili, this is a Scotch bonnet chili. Now with Scotch bonnet chilies, these are used really like in almost everything in the Caribbean. They're really, really spicy, and you can find them in your local supermarkets and things like that. But they have such amazing flavor as well as being super spicy, so don't touch your eye after you've eaten one of these. Not eaten, but if you have used one of these. And finally we're going to be using some onion. Now I've got two here because they're really small, but what we're going to do with this is we're going to grate it up so it's really fine, and we're going to add this into our mince. All of it's going to go into our mince. And finally, now this is optional, but this is just because I'm obsessed with cheese, we're going to stuff our burgers with cheese so that when we cut through it, it's going to have that nice oozing cheese. I love cheese. So let's go. So what I'm going to do, the first thing is I'm going to grate the onions. You can use any grater that you want. I'm using quite the big side of the grater. But you can use a thin side, and you can use, if you have the food processors that have a grater on it, even easier. And this is just going to make it really fine. And the thing with red onions that I like is they have a sweeter taste to the yellow onions. So I have this excess at the side. And yep, and so we can see it's a nice kind of mushy, it's going to stop seeing my eyes now, but it's going to combine really well with the mince. So now we're going to cut this Scotch bonnet. So we're just going to dice this up really small, as small as we can get it. Now, set this all aside, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our mince, and we're going to add in 1 egg. Still haven't learnt the fancy one-hand cut. We will. Okay, let's put this aside. Now, along with this egg, we're going to add in a tiny bit of olive oil. This is up to you. You don't have to add this, but I think it adds a sense of moisture, an element of moisture, should I say, to the burger. So I'm going to go in with, let's say 1.5 tablespoons. And I'm just going to use my hand, and I wash my hands, don't worry. And we're just going to mix this all together. So then we can start going in with our spices, our onions, and our chili. Now that's all combined. Now, the first thing I'm going to add is this chili and onion. We just grated and cut. I'm just going to combine that with my hands. Mix that in.
Nights in the time, Mama, you're worth more than a world of gold, Mama.
Actually, one time, because I kind of have a bit of a donut obsession as well, there's one time where I made homemade burgers and we actually bought Krispy Kreme donuts and used the Krispy Kreme donuts as the bun for our burger. So no one was watching calories that day, but it tasted really good. So, okay, we can see that this is basically combined now. The final things I forgot to say before, which I'm going to put all the ingredients in the description below, don't worry. I'm going to add a bit of this aromat, which I said I use in everything, the all-purpose salt. And that's the final thing. We're just going to mix all of this in. And they're going to be ready to mold our burgers. So now we've finished mixing our burger, or burger mixture, and we're just going to start molding the actual burger shapes. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a handful of the burger, maybe a little bit more than a handful. I'm going to make big burgers today. And I've got some cheese here. Now this is just cheddar cheese, but you can use any cheese that you like. And I'm just going to mold the burger over the cheese. So take a little bit more. I'm going to mold it so that it's completely covered. And we're going to flatten this out a bit. Mold it into our circles. And there we go. Okay. So now we've finished molding our burgers, and all we're going to do is pop this under the grill, and just before it's about to be finished, we're going to top it with some, I've got some Mexican cheese here. You don't have to use Mexican cheese, you can use any cheese that you like, but this just has a bit of chili in it and it has extra flavour. So we're just going to get this under the grill, and then we're going to get started on our onion bhajis. So all we're going to need for our onion bhajis is one onion, because we're not making a large amount, and some gram flour. Now gram flour is just chickpea flour, and you should be able to find it in any supermarket, but if not, then if you go to your local Asian stores, then they should almost definitely have some gram flour. Now all we're going to do is, I've got 200 grams of gram flour in this bowl, and we're going to mix it with a bit of flour. I need water. Because we want it to be a nice sort of thick consistency, but at the same time not super thick like a dough. Now in order to season this up, we're going to add a bit of the same sort of, some of the same ingredients and seasoning, should I say, that we had for our burgers. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this nice texture here. This is kind of the consistency that we want. We're going to add some salt, some onion granules, some garlic, and some cumin. Okay, so that's all we're going to need to season up our onion bhajis. We're going to mix this in and then set this aside whilst we cut up our onion. Now we're just going to slice up our onion. We want to slice it as thin as we can get it. I'm going to actually slice it in half first, because this just makes it easier to cut. And then we're just going to kind of give it in some nice long bits. Now all we're going to do is take our onions and we're going to place it inside of our mixture. So I just bring this here. I'm going to place it inside. I'm just going to give this a stir and mix this around. This is a little bit thick, so you know what? I'm just going to add a tiny tot more water to this. And I can see here that I've used 100 milliliters of water. You can hear the oil popping behind me, so I've just got that heating up, ready to go in with our onion bhajis. So now all we're going to do is we're going to take a spoon of this mixture. We've got some oil here that's been heating. Just going to have it on a medium heat, and we're going to place it into our oil. And we'll leave that in there. This is just going to fry up nice. We're going to leave this in here for a few minutes. It's not going to take long at all, and this is going to go on top of our burger. This just gives it that nice Indian addition to the burger that we're creating today. So as you can see, this is ready now. It's a nice golden brown. That means it's cooked all the way through. And this is going to make a perfect topper for our burger. Just going to put that in and fry up a few more. So we finished the onion bhajis. The burgers are nearly done in the grill. So the last thing to do is we're just going to make a nice chili jam. So you can use any jam that you want. I've got blackcurrant jam here. I'm just going to take a spoon of this and put it in. Let's do another spoon. There's a few burgers that I'm doing. And it's as simple as this. We're just going to add a bit of sriracha. Now, I know that sriracha is really popular. You can use any jam. You can use any chili that you want. This is just the chili that I have at the moment. It's not that spicy at all. Well, for me anyway. But we're just going to mix this together. And that's going to give us a nice chili jam. This is going to add a few more extra flavors to the recipe. And there we have our nice kind of spicy jam. I'm going to close this up. And we're going to get ready to plate our burger. Okay, so now I've taken the burgers out of the grill and I've toasted up a bun because it just tastes a lot better when you toasted it. And you can see the cheese is oozing there. My dad always loves an egg in his burger, so I've fried up an egg. I'm just going to put that on top. I'm going to go in with one of our onion bhajis. This is coming to a nice loaded burger. I'm going to add some of this nice chili jam that we did. Not a lot. And then now, this is definitely an optional step, but I'm kind of crazy when I do my burgers and hot dogs and things like that. So I'm going to add some peanut butter. This is a protein one, but you can use any. And I'm just going to butter this side of the bread with a peanut butter. So you've got like a peanut butter and jam, Caribbean, Asian fusion burger. I'm just going to put that there. And then I plate that up. And there you have it, our Caribbean Asian fusion burgers. Now, I would bite it, but it's just a little bit too messy and I don't think you guys are ready to see that side of me yet. But if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on your post notifications. And again, I hope you actually try this recipe and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks guys! One more thing, if you like the music that's been playing today, it's by an amazing artist called IQ Michael, and the song that's been playing is called Mama. I'm going to have it all linked in the description below.